Today's Tuesday Talks discussion is what do you think about overhyped books? So let's do this. Hi everybody, it's Lydia here. So before I go on with this, for those of you who don't know, Tuesday Talks is this discussion group on Goodreads. It's exactly the same idea as Top 5 Wednesday. Every single week there is a new discussion topic and everyone makes blogs or videos about it, so I will link it in the description below. It's really interesting and I think it's great to have like a discussion group like this because yeah, I think it's much needed and I'm glad it exists. So today's discussion is what do you think of overhyped books, and honestly I don't really see much of a problem with overhyped books. When you think about the number of overhyped films there are which then turn out to be utter rubbish, I mean, there are so many of those. Every single week it seems like there's a new crappy film coming out that they've been going on about for months and it turns out to be rubbish. But with books I don't think that really happens, especially these days because arcs are so like widely spread in the months prior to publication date that even if a publisher's is just really hyping up the release of a book, the chances are that there will have been arcs released in the months prior to it, and if a book is crap, in spite of whether the publisher is overhyping it, if a book is crap then people are gonna talk about that. You know, those bad reviews are gonna seep out and that hype is just gonna lessen as a result. And I don't think it's really like a massive issue because of that. I think maybe there is like a slight tendency to overhype with books in series, and I know I'm guilty of this. You know, when the Mime Order was being released I was just manically excited about it, and I think that tends to happen, but I don't think it's a massive issue in series because, you know, if there's overhype about a book that's like the third book in a series and you haven't read the first book, then you're not really going to care about the overhype for the third book. You know, if you don't like the first book then you're never going to get to the third book, and so I don't think it really matters. I think hype for a series isn't the same as hype for a single book, if that makes sense. I think the biggest hype book, certainly for my generation, will always be Harry Potter. I think those kind of books only come around once in a blue moon, and I mean that was just hectic when those books were being released. I mean the 7th book, remember how hectic it got when the 7th book was being released. I mean the Royal Mail in this country had to actually like bring in more staff so that they could get people's books to them for the day of release, and it was just crazy. I mean, yeah, I don't know what it was like in the rest of the world, but in this country it was manic, and that is the most overhyped book I have ever like heard of in recent years. And for me it was just because it was the last in this massive series, and of course it was going to be overhyped, but it didn't really matter because everyone was going to love it either way. I think because it's Harry Potter, and yeah, I think Harry Potter has such a stalwart fandom that yeah. I think the issue with overhyped books tends to just come from fandoms in general. I think if a certain like group of people who love a book love it that much, they will go on about it. I mean, you know, I'm totally guilty of this. But I think if that happens, you know, it tends to come more from fandom. I know that like I've read books in the last couple of years which people have raved about to me and I've been all looking forward to it, and then I've hated them. So I do, you know, it does happen, but it's going to happen all the time because not everyone can like every single book. Maybe I'm just totally missing this discussion or something, I don't know, but there we go. Let me know in the description below if I am totally missing this overhyped side of the world, because yeah, I just don't really feel like it's a massive issue. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I'll be back tomorrow with another video, but until then, bye!